upgraded in any way. Odyssey was holding her right shoulder.
It was a moment that should have been pure celebration, but it turned into a bizarre fiasco that exposed the WNBA's darkest secret. A star player, visibly injured and wearing a massive leg brace, found herself in a stare-down not with an opponent but with the league's own security. This wasn't just a simple misunderstanding, it was a confrontation that fans are now calling proof that certain players are being deliberately targeted. The question is no longer if the WNBA has a problem, but how deep the rot truly goes.
Oh, Sophie, you're like that? Yeah, Chloe, she's like that. She's like that. She ain't moving. Oh, and then she puts her hands on the hip. Let me talk to your manager. Oh, shit. All right, Sophie, say no more. Say no more. Now, when your teammate gets injured, you're allowed to hop on the court and just to see if your teammate's doing good. So, injured, healthy. So, Chloe, Sophie, they had every right to be.
The Indiana Fever had just pulled off an incredible playoff win, a story of grit and resilience that should have dominated headlines. Fans were ecstatic, the players were hyped, and the arena was buzzing with postseason energy. But in a flash, all of that was erased. The narrative was hijacked by the surreal image of Sophie Cunningham standing on the court in a bulky leg brace, being aggressively confronted by a security guard. There was no fight, no altercation, and no reason for security to intervene. Yet, suddenly, a player who could barely walk was being treated like a threat.
That security guard all up on Sophie Cunningham. And look, I think there is a reason she got up in Sophie's face. And I don't think there was any need to sort of bow up to Sophie like that. I don't think, and to Sophie's credit, she did not back down at all.
The video clip went viral almost instantly, and it was easy to see why. The optics were horrifying. You have Sophie Cunningham, clearly injured and in no condition to cause trouble, just trying to soak in her team's victory. Then, a security guard storms over, leaning in and barking at her as if she were a rioting fan. Her expression shifts from confusion to disbelief, before settling into that signature Cunningham glare, a look that said everything without a single word. It was a look of defiance that told the guard in the league that she wouldn't be intimidated.
So Odyssey Sims goes down hard, and Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, Chloe Bibby are waiting for her at half court, and the cop tries to get Sophie Cunningham to move. Sophie Cunningham was like, "You're not going to get me to move. I'm waiting for Odyssey." And you could see during the review, look at Sophie Cunningham clapping, not moving, waiting for her teammate. That's the Fever for you.
To understand why this moment exploded, you have to understand who Sophie Cunningham is. For years, she's been cast as the WNBA's unofficial villain. Why? Because she's unapologetically confident, she's fiercely competitive, and she refuses to soften her personality to fit the league's cookie-cutter image. She doesn't play by their rules, and for that, she's been painted as a problem child. This confrontation wasn't just a random event. For her fans, it was the latest piece of evidence in a long-running campaign against her.
Folks, I didn't realize how much fun I would have watching these people break down. It's a meltdown. It's a meltdown on Twitter today. It's embarrassing to a certain extent. Not for me, for them. And then we got the Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever getting booed as they're getting off their court.
This villain edit wasn't created overnight. It's been carefully constructed incident by incident. Remember the flagrant fouls that were called on her for plays that other players get away with constantly, or the on-court dust-ups where she was immediately framed as the instigator, even when replays showed otherwise. She's physical, she talks trash, and she doesn't back down. Traits that are celebrated as passion in male athletes, but are used to paint her as an agitator. The league and its media partners have consistently highlighted her most fiery moments while downplaying her skill and leadership, slowly building a narrative that she is a problem to be contained, not a star to be celebrated.
Yeah, you see this guy right here? Right in this genital area? Let me just, you see this guy? The ref asked this dude to step out here. All right? Now, Cheryl Swoops wants this referee fired. She wants him fired. Look, he felt something. He felt something was amiss. Of course, Cheryl Swoops is defending Dejanay Carrington.
The fan outrage was immediate and overwhelming. Social media lit up with fury, but none of it was directed at Sophie. Instead, fans ripped into the WNBA for allowing its own staff to harass an injured player during a moment of celebration. Hashtags like #FreeSophie and WNBA Exposed started trending as viewers called out the blatant disrespect. They saw it for what it was, not a security protocol, but a power trip aimed at a player the league seems determined to put in her place. This wasn't just support, it was a rebellion against a narrative they knew was false.
Sophie Cunningham, because she's white, she's beautiful, all these things, right? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100, as they say. Sophie Cunningham is the most beautiful woman in this league. All right, she's the hottest woman in this league, and they're mad they can't be.
This narrative is amplified by certain mainstream media outlets that seem to march in lockstep with the league's agenda. When a controversy involves a league-approved star, the coverage is often sympathetic, framed around their passion and competitive fire. But when Sophie is involved, the tone shifts. She's often described with loaded words like controversial or aggressive. This slanted coverage creates a feedback loop. The league treats her differently, the media reports it with a negative spin, and the perception of her as a villain becomes cemented in the public mind, justifying the league's initial treatment.
I completely underestimated the feelings that I would have watching all of the Indiana Fever haters crash out. All of the Caitlin Clark haters, all of the Sophie Cunningham haters, anything to do with the Indiana Fever, the people that are just so quick to hop on Twitter and say something negative, to hop on media and say something negative, to take credit away. I underestimated how good it feels watching these people.
And this is where the story connects to the WNBA's biggest and most embarrassing pattern of behavior. For months, fans have watched in horror as Caitlin Clark, the league's biggest star, has been hacked, shoved, and targeted on the court while referees swallow their whistles. The league has done nothing to protect its main attraction. Now, with this incident, fans are seeing the same pattern off the court. Whether it's ignoring on-court assaults or allowing off-court harassment, the message is clear. If you don't fit the league's preferred narrative, or if your stardom is too disruptive, you're on your own.
Poor Sophie. She got the contraption on. She looks great in a ball cap. Let's just keep it real. We're keeping it 100 here, as the kids say. And here we go. Right here, she's at mid-court. And then Paula Blart, mall cop. What are you doing? Well, I mean, what you doing? She got a leg brace on, for crying out loud. You come out here trying to be Brody and trying to do something, knowing damn good well. Look at this police officer.
The blatant double standard has become impossible to ignore. When a player like Angel Reese taunts an opponent or gets into a heated exchange, it's often celebrated by the media as passion and swagger. It's marketed as part of her brand. But when Sophie Cunningham shows the exact same fire, she's labeled a villain. Fans are asking the obvious question, why is the same behavior praised in one player and punished in another? The only logical answer is an uncomfortable one, that the league is picking favorites and Sophie Cunningham isn't one of them.
It was one of those games. It was such a good W game. Like it was physical. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of great plays. But I just knew deep down in my gut that we were going to win. Like somehow we were going to win. And like, I think there was like a minute or like 40, I don't even know, like around 40 seconds left. And they left our all-star player wide open under the hoop for the go-ahead layup. And then Lexi Hall had a freaking badass steal and like it was over. But
where is the WNBPA, the players union, in all of this? We've seen them rush to defend other players in the past, issuing strong statements and demanding accountability from the league. When Diana Taurasi had a heated exchange, or when other players felt unfairly targeted, the union was their staunchest defender. Yet in the face of this clear-cut case of an injured player being harassed by league staff, there was deafening silence. This selective outrage suggests the union may also be playing favorites, leaving players like Sophie to fend for themselves and fracturing any illusion of true player solidarity.
Kathy Engelbert, we need an investigation. Call the FBI. Call the local police department. We need an investigation as to who was raining down those boos on the Indiana Fever. They're all racist. Or, hear me out here, or this is sports and that's expected. Notice how the Indiana Fever players, oh, they didn't cry. Oh my God. Notice.
This entire saga can be seen as a battle for the soul of the WNBA, a clash between the old guard and a new wave of disruptive stars. Players like Sophie and Caitlin Clark bring a different kind of energy. They are polarizing, they drive conversation, and they don't fit neatly into the league's carefully curated image of unity and conformity. This new brand of stardom challenges the established order, and the resistance is palpable, manifesting in inconsistent officiating, targeted treatment, and a clear reluctance from the league to embrace the very players who are driving its unprecedented growth.
The league is so mad that we won because we're literally not supposed to be here at all. And that just like kind of fuels our fire even more. But it was just like so fun. It was one of those games that, first of all, I was sweating my ass off because I was so nervous. And like, I don't really get anxious about stuff. I was so anxious. Like I could not sit still. I was legit. I felt like I played with how much I was sweating. And
this kind of public-facing chaos is catastrophic for business. The WNBA is experiencing a massive surge in popularity, largely thanks to new fans brought in by Caitlin Clark. These newcomers are tuning in to see professional basketball, but instead they're getting a heavy dose of drama, controversy, and what looks like amateur hour management. When a league's biggest viral moment is its own security guard harassing an injured player, it doesn't look like a major sports league. It looks like a circus, and that's a reputation that can kill a brand.
And I think we all know that if there's one thing that male sports fans want to see in their spaces and on their screens, it's more of me.
But the damage goes even deeper than just scaring off new viewers. This consistent pattern of perceived unfairness and incompetence is starting to alienate the WNBA's most loyal long-term fans. These are the supporters who stuck with the league through thick and thin, who championed its growth for years. Now they are watching in frustration as the league they love seems to self-destruct. They cared of the controversies, disgusted by the double standards, and are losing faith in the league's ability to govern itself. This isn't just a growth problem, it's a loyalty crisis.
Inside, Boston!
The blame is landing squarely at the feet of Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Fans are flooding comment sections, accusing her of turning the WNBA into a joke. They see a league with no control over its officiating, its players, or even its own staff. The perception is that under her leadership, the WNBA has become more focused on creating reality show drama than protecting the integrity of the game. When your audience loses faith in your leadership, you're not just having a bad week, you're in a death spiral. But through it all, Sophie Cunningham handled the situation with more grace and professionalism than the entire WNBA leadership combined. She didn't yell, she didn't cause a scene, and she didn't give them the explosive reaction they may have been looking for. She simply stood her ground, held her space, and let her defiant stare do the talking. Later, she brushed off the incident with a touch of humor, proving that she remains in complete control of her own narrative. She refused to be bullied, and in doing so, became the hero of the night. And that reveals the ultimate irony. The WNBA seems to view Sophie's fiery, unfiltered personality as a problem to be managed, but it's the very thing that has made her one of the most popular and engaging players in the league. Fans are drawn to her because she's real. She's not a polished, media-trained robot. Every attempt the league makes to diminish her only makes her fan base stronger and more loyal. They are trying to extinguish the very fire that is drawing people in. What's truly tragic is that this entire fiasco overshadowed a fantastic basketball story. The headlines should have been about Lexi Hull's game-winning steal or Kelsey Mitchell's clutch performance. The story should have been about the Fever's incredible heart. Instead, the narrative became about a rent-a-cop's power trip. The WNBA didn't just embarrass Sophie Cunningham, it robbed her teammates of the recognition they rightfully earned. That isn't just bad PR, it's a complete failure of leadership. In the end, this incident was more than just a viral clip. It was a perfect snapshot of a league at war with itself, a league that claims it wants growth, but actively undermines its most marketable stars. It revealed the double standards, the lack of professionalism, and the deep-seated problems that threatened to derail all of its recent progress. The league wants to be taken seriously, but it continues to get in its own way, one embarrassing fiasco at a time. Do you think Sophie is being singled out? Let us know down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.